Elena, and today I'm interviewing a former Chaparral student.
Hi, I'm Elena Pereira.
My first question for you is, what made you decide to start your athletic career with cheer?
So when I was younger, I used to watch all those cliche movies of being a high school cheerleader and being popular. And so, of course, everyone wants to be popular when they get to high school. It's just like a normal thing to think about. When my mom asked me what sports I was looking to do during high school, I was like, well, I'll start off with cheerleading. So that's how it all started.
Were there any really big struggles with being on the cheer team?
Yeah, so one of the main struggles was not being outgoing. And when I moved to Parker, when I was going into 6th grade, I started at a new school. And so ever since then, I was just not really outgoing, and I didn't really have that confidence that I needed in order to go to a brand new school, start a sport that was supposed to be really loud. And so since I wasn't outgoing, I didn't really meet new friends. So it was just a struggle, just like meeting friends on the cheer team and like getting along with my coaches, because I didn't really know how to like have a conversation with them if I had any questions or anything, because I would get really nervous.
How were the girls and coaches personally on the team?
So the girls were really sweet girls, I would say, but I just feel like I said before, since I wasn't really outgoing, it was hard for me to get along with them, because I feel like they didn't think that I liked them, because I would never really talk to them. And the coaches did like me at the beginning, but then I started being like really talkative. So you know how people get annoyed with that, like how teachers and all of that and coaches, because like you're not paying attention to them and all of that. So towards the end, it did become a struggle, because I wasn't allowed to like go on the mat sometimes, just because I don't know, I just felt like they didn't really like me, like there was no reason behind it.
Were there any instances where you met friends on the team?
Yeah, so there was this one girl, Chloe, and we became really close friends, but we kind of drifted apart after she moved to Texas. But yeah, she was a really good friend of mine, and she really made me like get through the whole year, and like she made my outgoing side come back out again.
How did these events impact you, and how did you feel?
Well, since I try to fit in so much, I felt like I had to wear a mask, just like Nora did in fences.
Moving on from the cheer topic, were there any sports that made you feel like you were part of Shop Fam?
Yeah, so when I joined swim team and the tennis team, they were like just like a big family, and it's like all of us just got along, and all of us treated each other so kindly, and like there were no instances where like I felt like I didn't belong in a group. And especially with swim, that was my favorite sport to do, because the coaches were just like my moms. Like they were just my coach moms, and they brought me in as if I was like their daughter. And it was really nice.
That's good to hear. Revisiting grades, how did you get your grades up?
So I started getting a tutor, and I started getting help from my mom and from my brother, because my brother also struggled, but he got them up to the point where he got to go to the school that he wanted to. And so with my brother explaining to me how college was and all of that, and how if you have bad grades, they're not going to accept you, it really just made me like realize, wow, like my future and like my future career of like what I want to do and like where I want to go to school really depends on like my grades, and I need to get them up in order to have the future that I want to have for myself.
What was each sport like?
So with tennis, I wasn't really into it at the beginning, because like I didn't really have any close friends, because again, I started my freshman year, so it was just hard being outgoing and all that. But then when I got to my junior year, I finally met my best friends, and it was Ava, Eva, and Clara. And so we were like this little group of little sisters, and so we would go everywhere together. We would get rides home from practice together. We would like just hang out on the normal, like all together. We would go out to lunch and all of that. But with swim, I met my best friends Jamie and Noella, and I became really close with them too, which was really good, because sophomore year and like freshman year, I struggled with meeting friends, but junior year and senior year, I found the group of friends that I want forever, and like going on into college and all that.
Oh, that's nice. I bet they're sweet girls.
They really are.
Moving on from sports, were there any parts of high school that were just a pain in the butt?
Yeah, so I feel like everybody in high school had their year where they would just do really bad, and it was a really big struggle. So my year was sophomore year. I would put my social life ahead of my school life, and that, of course, made my grades go down, and it was really hard to get them back up. And so with that, I would just meet people that weren't right for me, that I shouldn't have been friends with, because I just feel like, it wasn't healthy for me to be friends with them. But at the time, I didn't really realize that until I stopped being friends with them, because I, of course, like I said, chose social life ahead of anything else. And so as long as I looked good for other people, I didn't really care how I felt about how I got treated.
How did your parents feel about all of this?
So my dad was the type of person to push me, but he would also understand when I couldn't really do it anymore and that I needed a break. But my mom is the type of person to push me, and then you get a break. So you push, and then once you get what you want, you get a break. And so she really helped me, and she helped me get back on my feet with schoolwork and all of that, and I finally got my grades back up, and that's what helped me go into my junior and senior year with better grades. And you can definitely just see how I skyrocketed from sophomore year, especially with my social life, because it really helped meet new friends. And my mom would tell me and give me advice of who I should hang out with and who I shouldn't, because it's how I feel and how I get treated before everything else.
That's all we have for you guys today. Thank you for being here and talking about your struggles through high school.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Thank you so much for having me.